Today, we're exploring the legend of Jeff Epp. Teacher, investor, gamer. That's right, I bet you won't find that one on his Wikipedia file. For some ungodly reason, there is an entire genre-spanning world of Jeffrey Epstein-themed video games on Steam. Open world survival? Check. Linear horror? Yep. Games that shouldn't exist, but for some reason do anyway. Absolutely. So grab your tinfoil hats, disable your antivirus, and prepare yourselves. We've got 4 games to cover today, and first up is simply titled Epstein. This game makes a lot of promises, and was the one that I was most excited for when I first came up for the idea for this video. Experience realistic survival in a mysterious and dangerous island environment. Engage in a dark and immersive story, filled with mysteries to explore. Combat challenges with formidable foes. It turns out Epstein is less of a game and more of a steaming pile of asset-flipped garbage. If I had actually read the reviews before playing, I would have known this and saved myself about $10. Just bad. How to refund. Cool dude. Likes to hang. Almost like the real thing, 10 out of 10. I found out that I had a speech impediment because of this game. So now you, my treasured audience, will suffer the way that I have suffered, as I take you through my 4-hour gameplay experience with Epstein. We kick things off in the character creation menu. Character creation is putting it generously, because your options in this game are red pirate, blue pirate, pirate with a bow and arrow. That's it. You also get a whopping 2 skill points, which, as far as I can tell, don't do anything at all. With that, we hit start game and dive in. We spawn inside an empty house, and right away, we have to come to terms with an unsettling reality. Motion blur cannot be turned off. The house also features a devil worship circle and a massive billboard, outlining the objective of the game. Reach Epstein Island. Next, we find a big pink present. You'll find these scattered across the island, all of which contain random loot. But don't get too attached. If you die, all your items are gone forever. Loot never respawns. This will become a major problem soon. For now, I take my new hat and stylish blue shirt and continue. Next, we discover what I'm going to call Predator Vision. Pressing Q highlights interactables and nearby resources, which is also how I accidentally stumbled upon the inventory and crafting menu. We pass through a massive stone doorway, only to be informed that it's Saturday, which as far as I can tell is completely irrelevant. Moments later, we come across what remains of Stephen Hawking, and we get attacked by what the game calls mini-Hawkings. They're really just shrunken down zombie models purchased straight from the Unity store. After looting these goblin-like creatures and clipping through the terrain a little bit, I hop into a spaceship that whisks me away onto the central island. Here, we meet MJ. Yes, that MJ, who, due to budget constraints, is also a pirate. In theory, there are MJs scattered across the map, who act as followers and help you through combat situations. In practice, they barely function at all. Since I'm too broke to buy anything, I resort to petty theft before exploring the town. Highlights include a dirty mattress covered in loose change, and a giant mushroom that launches me into the air like I'm at a budget trampoline park. At this point, I decide to follow the only piece of guidance that the game has given me so far, so I craft a hatchet and I attempt to cut down a tree. Remember how I said that loot doesn't respawn? With all my belongings now obliterated into the void, I embraced my inner homeless transient and I set out to explore. My journey led me to Mining Island. Or should I say, Minor Island. The enemies here had no textures and reminded me of the Molded from Resident Evil 7. They were also incredibly tough. That was until I stumbled upon what is going to be the most important weapon in this game. Armed with my newfound firepower, I mowed down the local population and ravaged the land for ores, all the while being blissfully unaware that I was about to wander straight into the Stephen Hawking boss fight arena. Unfortunately, this was less like fighting Stephen Hawking and more like fighting Professor X. He was so overpowered that I barely managed to scratch him and I was forced to flee with my tail between my legs. Still, I had gathered enough stone to complete my objective. Next stop, Flower Island. There was just one problem. I had burned through every last bullet, exacting my revenge on the forest dwellers, which meant that my only remaining form of defense was a big stick. After narrowly escaping death, I got to work gathering fiber, which for some reason required shoving the camera directly between my cheeks. Feeling accomplished, I returned to finally erect a structure and was immediately killed. Before officially resetting the game for the third time, I wandered around for a little while, desperately trying to figure out any way to navigate this mess effectively. At this point, I was over 2 hours in, well past the Steam refund window, and I had absolutely nothing to show for it. The first thing I noticed was that these little fellas here in the tutorial island infinitely respawn. Killing them will net you one singular round of ammunition for the assault rifle, as well as a human limb, which you can take into the town to sell for a nice profit. A truly balanced economy. I also ventured to the far side of the island, where I found this quaint little village, a chicken, and a research table that I had no idea how to use. None of this was even remotely helpful, I just thought it was worth mentioning. While exploring the central island some more, I discovered something far more useful. MJ isn't just friendly fireable, he's also lootable, and taking him out rewards you with high tier metal armor. With all of this information, it was finally time for attempt 3. After 2 failed runs, countless frustrations, and nothing to show for it, I was done playing fair. Attempt 3 was going to be my magnum opus. Step 1, abuse the infinitely respawning minions in the starting area. Step 2. Return to the mining island, reclaim my beloved assault rifle, and also gather some health potions from the boss arena. Step 3. Murder MJ for all his awesome armor. Now, fully geared, I was finally ready to face the first boss of the game, Hillary Clinton. I had previously scouted out the location of this boss, and I had one more trick up my sleeve to get there easily. By sprinting while airborne, you can cheese your way over the cliff and straight into the teleporter. Once I was inside the arena, I was careful to pick off the regular enemies one by one. Once they were all taken care of, I could finally mag dump Clinton in an intense battle that ended in a melee showdown. Victory was mine, but nothing happened. I looked around for a chest, an exit, a key perhaps, any way to progress further into the game. And that's when I saw it. I thought it was a secret area. No. I think that's about enough of this. After that bullshittery, I quit Epstein and promptly uninstalled it from my computer. My final thoughts for Epstein: janky, stolen assets, comatose NPCs, genuinely ruined my day. 2 out of 10. Epstein 2 is shit. According to its own description on Steam, Epstein 2 is, quote, an adventure filled with suspense and horror, a game full of mysteries, puzzles, and frightening moments where you struggle to survive and reveal the truth. In reality, Epstein 2 plays more like this. Okay, now what am I meant to do? Oh, so scary. Hooks. That is a really... Oh, fucking hell! Why was that so loud? What the fuck am I supposed to do? And I'm telling you all now, this game would not be worth playing even if it were free. In Epstein 2, we play as Michael, and this time, Jeffy Boy has crossed the fucking line because he's kidnapped that...
kidnapped our mum.
After a quick intro cutscene that establishes these stakes, we wake up in a shack, armed with nothing but an oil lamp, and oh boy are we going to need it. Because without a light source, Epstein 2 is literally unplayable, and I'm not exaggerating. Now, for your viewing pleasure, I've gone ahead and cranked the brightness way up, but this is what I saw. Once I finally worked out how to equip the lamp, because of course, this game doesn't tell you, I was able to begin my journey, rather than stumbling around the forest like Helen Keller on a bad acid trip. Foolishly, however, I was in high spirits and confident that Epstein 2 would not be anywhere near as bad as its predecessor. Oh, fuck! Let's pause real quick here to have a talk about jump scares. Now, some people might call jump scares cheap, or gay. I, on the other hand, am a staunch jump scare defender. I think that when they're used sparingly, they can be pretty goddamn scary. Too bad Epstein 2 didn't get the memo, because this game will throw a loud noise at you every 5 minutes. At a certain point, I wasn't even scared anymore. I was getting annoyed and frustrated at how loud these things were, because they were hurting my goddamn ears. Continuing on our journey, we stumble upon an obviously haunted mansion, complete with the world's loudest cemetery right outside. What's that noise? Okay, that's just the noise of the ground. My ears may never recover. Now inside the mansion, our goal is simple. Snoop around, solve puzzles, and collect keys. I'm either clinically dense, or this game just doesn't make sense, because I got completely stuck on the very first puzzle. This isn't my fault though, because to make things even harder, the game constantly prompts you to interact with objects that do absolutely nothing. Because of this, I spent an unreasonable amount of time wandering around and mashing the interact button like an idiot, burning away at the fuel for my lantern, hoping that something would work. Eventually, I did find the key I was looking for behind this clock. Keep in mind that nothing else in this room was interactable, by the way. I'm not an idiot for not checking. This brought me to a note, which in turn brought me to a logic puzzle, and once I worked that out, it was an easy trip into level 2. Funny thing about level 2, this is definitely the worst segment in a video game I've ever played. So much so that OBS was straight up unable to record any gameplay of level 2 and beyond. I even double checked my settings, went back and tried to record it again. But it seems that this game is just so horrifically made that you are literally unable to record half of it. Unfortunately for us, this is where our journey with Epstein 2 sadly has to come to an end. Because as much as I'd like to make fun of the rest of this game with you all, I'm not going to be able to adequately express my point to all of you with footage that looks like it's straight out of a fucking PowerPoint presentation. So, I'll leave you with this. Ow, my ears, makes me feel stupid, broke OBS and my spirit. 1 out of 10. Do you guys remember Slender?
Whoa! What the hell is that?
Oh! Jesus!
Well, that's what we're doing. Slender. We're doing Slender. But to be fair, compared to Epstein the game, and for the low price of free, I'm not really in a position to complain. Legacy of Epstein Bad Omen follows our main character Giglio, and opens with one of the strangest cutscenes that I've ever seen.
It was a dark, stormy night, and I had decided to go drive around the woods for no real reason. There have been multiple reports about the Slender Man being sighted in the woods, but I gave no care. Years of intense gaming had honed my mind and reflexes to deal with any foul. Then, suddenly, a splendorous dark figure appeared behind my car.
Get used to the buttery smooth voice of Giglio, because he's going to be giving us a running commentary of events for our entire playthrough.
I hope there's no ghosts here. Great horn spoon! What are these metal pancakes on the floor? I hope I won't get molested by aliens. Gosh, old Potomac! Balupo!
The main objective in this game is to find all the pieces of your car, which has broken down somewhat catastrophically. As we explore, we pick up a torch to help guide us, and soon after we come face to face with the Splendor Man. A bit more exploring nets us a crowbar, introduces us to some dogs, and gives us a pretty handy checklist of everything we need for our car. Once you have everything you need, you're free to run around and head back to your car. Unfortunately for us, we run into the Splendor Man on the way back and we die. What if I told you though, ladies and gentlemen, that that is not the true canonical ending of Legacy of Epstein Bad Omen? Hidden off the path and in some bushes, you can find yourself a gun. Using that gun, you can go on a little hunting trip before popping the Splendor Man directly in the face. Once you do this, you get the true ending. Although Bad Omen is a pretty linear experience, with the map basically being one giant looping track and the Splendor Man posing no real threat to you until you reach the scripted final battle, the humour carries this game so hard. It was engaging enough for me to explore every little nook and cranny, and I even went back to unlock every ending. Plus, it's short and sweet, which after spending 4 hours in Epstein was something that I really appreciated. Final thoughts: neat graphical style, free, dog murder, 5 out of 10. You thought it was over, but no. The legacy of Epstein gaming saga continues. And against all odds, it's actually going to get better. Legacy of Epstein Foul Dreamer takes everything good about Bad Omen and just cranks it up to 11. And honestly, this is genuinely a great game. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I'm genuinely invested in the Legacy of Epstein cinematic universe. In this game, we once again step into the shoes of Giglio, who has now made it to Gettysburg and is trying to meet up with his gamer buddy, Lenny. To meet up with Lenny, all we need to do is solve a basic puzzle.
Damn. This hellacious mouth is blocking off the elevator. Oh, this valve is too piping hot to be touched.
But to do so, we first need to acquire some currency. Along the way, we explore the city and tackle a variety of weird quests from an incredibly strange cast of characters. These quests vary wildly, from scrubbing Sonichu graffiti off the walls to investigating and somewhat aiding in cold-blooded murder. Completing these quests rewards us with cash, which we can then use to buy things that will earn us even more cash. But we really need to be careful, because almost everything here in Gettysburg is trying to kill you.
Oh, whoops.
Really?
Oh, what the flippity floppity flow? Oh, Abrahamus Lincoln.
Oh.
Fancy meeting you here.
There's also plenty of fun and stupid distractions to keep us busy. So many, in fact, that I spent a good chunk of my time wandering around with no idea of what I was actually supposed to be doing. Not that I'm complaining. The world is packed with hilarious details and hidden areas that make exploration genuinely enjoyable. The humour also makes a strong return. With Giglio's constant, over-the-top and incessant narration, it practically begs you to interact with everything inside. Once we've scrounged up enough money from stealing, helping murderers and burning down churches, we can finally bribe the doorman for Lenny's location, shut off the steam valve and go see our friend. That would be true if we weren't already too late.
I think he died.
This revelation is immediately followed by us being arrested for Lenny's murder and sent to prison. And just before the credits roll, the game teases a possible third entry in the series, which I really hope gets made. Final thoughts: great sequel, funny, charming, 9 out of 10.